Good evening, everybody. Len Mooney here, and welcome to this webinar, which I have called the Ultimate Facebook Prospecting Webinar. And I hope you're going to get a ton of value out of tonight. Shirley, right now we have a pretty small group. It's me and you. Okay, that's fine. Tomorrow's not a good day for you. That's fine. It's just me and you tonight, and so I'm going to leave the option up to you whether you want to see the presentation right now or you want me to send you the PowerPoint of it and you can look through it. I put a whole new presentation together. I've been offline all day, and maybe a lot of people just figured out I wasn't going to make it back online. I'm not at home yet. My house is still dark. I'm up the road from my house in an office, but it is a brand new presentation, and you know, perhaps we should run through it, then you'll know what it is, and then you can decide how we can best use it for your group with, is it Trimaran? Is that, what's it called? What's the name of the group? Let me go back. I should Trivarid. I'm sorry, Trivarid. So, okay, there's Chris. Chris just jumped on. Hello, Chris. Welcome aboard. Hey, in fact, Chris, are you going to be on for the whole presentation? And it shouldn't be, we should be able to wrap it up in an hour or less. Can I bring you over so you can make sure that I don't screw this up or we get screwed up? Let me know in the chat. In fact, let me go ahead and click you over, Chris. And yeah, hello. Let me click you over, and if you don't want to come, you can just ignore me. You never ignore me. You wouldn't ignore me, would you? So here you come. You're on your way over. I see you've disappeared. You're out there in the Ethernet somewhere. And Shirley, the reason I don't bring you over is you've never had any experience running webinars on there. I need somebody over here who's familiar with the platform and knows when something is going wrong. And so Chris does that for me. And Chris,
now I can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I'm talking now. Can you hear me now? Let me keep talking. I am talking 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, E. I'm singing the alphabet. I'm no good at singing the alphabet. You still can't hear me? I'm waiting for you to tell me you can hear me. That's not good. Shirley, you can hear me, I assume. Shirley, type yes in the chat box if you can hear me. Shirley. And there's a delay in the chat box, so I'll just wait. Chris, you're still not hearing me? That's a bad thing. Shirley can hear me. Okay, so Shirley can still hear me, Chris, so must be at your end. Shirley, but you can't hear me, so I'm talking to you. What's going on, Chris? Talk to me, Chris.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I cannot hear you at all.
Do you want to go out and come back in again? Just reset? I gave you, no, I didn't. I didn't give you a...
Why don't you kick me out and bring me back in again?
Okay. Can you hear me now when you're out there in the other world? Now can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
That's pretty strange. Okay, well let's get started. I put together a new presentation for tonight, and I've put together a new course, as you know, Chris. It's a what I've done is I've taken the Ultimate University course, and I've splintered it apart, and I've taken out the section on Facebook marketing and turned it into a standalone course. And so tonight's presentation is really a new presentation, but it's a lot of stuff that you've already been through before. So I won't blame you if you get bored and decide to leave me or something partway through. But anyhow, let's just get started, and I hope you're gonna be entertained. I'm not gonna go live to Facebook tonight. We're gonna talk about Facebook marketing, and then at the end, I'm gonna offer well, the usual. I'm gonna offer a way to go deeper with me, which is the Facebook, the Ultimate Facebook Prospecting course itself. So let's go to screen share. Let's just get this show on the road. Glad everybody who's here is here. I really appreciate you being here. And Chris, I'm assuming you can see my screen. And you can hear me, Chris. You can hear this. You can see. Yes, you can hear the screen and see it. So we call it the Ultimate Guide to Facebook Prospecting. Let's just jump right in, and I'll move through a lot of this material pretty quickly because I think you're all familiar with a lot of it, but I want to set the groundwork for the course too. So, quick question. How would it feel if you could wake up every day to people who've messaged you to find out more about your business or to learn more about what you do? How would that feel, having people coming to you? Now, we're going to explore ways to make that happen on Facebook. So what you're going to learn tonight, I'm going to spend just one slide reviewing what I consider to be the soul of network marketing. And then I'm going to touch briefly on the 4 really big mistakes all newbies make when they get into network marketing. And you might say to yourself, well, what does that have to do with Facebook? It has everything to do with Facebook, because the newbies make the same mistakes on Facebook that they make in Starbucks. So we're going to just review what those are, and then we're going to jump right into the best way to use social media. We're going to just talk briefly about overcoming fear of prospecting, which everybody has. It's not unique. If you're afraid to pick up the phone, or you're afraid to send a message to somebody on Facebook, or you're afraid to start a chat, you're not unique. Everyone has those same fears. And we're going to talk about how to search for your ideal prospect, what to say, when to say it, and we're going to take a look at simple Facebook advertising concepts. We're not going to go live to Facebook tonight. We're just going to look at this stuff from a, shall we say, a theoretical viewpoint rather than actually digging in and rolling up our sleeves. Because every one of the topics we're going to cover is the subject of a course all on its own. So, we don't have time to go live and do every one of these concepts and do it in a 40 or 45-minute webinar. Let me just pick up what I call the soul of network marketing. People tend to really not understand this, and you see it all over the place on Facebook. You see it in the work at home groups. Network marketing is a people helping people business. Zig Ziglar said it all. You can have everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. But that's the name of the game. The name of the game is helping people get what they want. The name of the game is not hanging up your link on walls so that people are going to sign up with your opportunity. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work that way. And Winston Churchill said, we make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. And we need to stay focused on the idea that network marketing is a people helping people, or a people-to-people business. And that's where a lot of people make mistakes. Let's talk about the 4 major mistakes that all newbies make. And it's not their fault. It's because they're told to do it when they sign up with their network marketing company. And once again, you may say, as we look at these, what does it have to do with Facebook? Everything. Because people do the same things on Facebook. The first one is over-enthusiastically approaching your warm market prematurely. And that's a mouthful. What does it mean? It means your upline signed you up telling you that this product just sells itself. All you have to do is go show it to everybody, and they're all going to want to jump in and get on board and buy it from you, and pretty soon you're all going to be rich. And as those of us who have any experience with this business have learned, nothing can be farther from the truth. That's a guaranteed way to produce the result that we know as warm market burnout. Pretty much get to a point where you don't have a warm market. Your friends won't answer the phone, and your own mother doesn't want to talk to you because she doesn't want to hear about how marvelous your opportunity is anymore. And we see people doing the same thing on Facebook all the time. They're blasting their links out there. They're blasting their opportunity, and they're trying to coerce, strong arm their friends, family into signing up. It doesn't work. The next thing is talking too much. And this falls back, this is one of the principal rules that we're going to look at with Facebook and with online marketing in general. The first thing that you can do that amounts to talking too much is hanging up your link. As Diane Hoffman likes to say, you've got the cookie. Your link is your cookie. You don't give it away. You extract a price for it. You extract a promise for it. You don't just hang up your link. You know what happens when you hang up your link? They don't sign up with your company. They go to Google and they look the company up and decide if they want to do business or not. And if they decide they want to do business, they've completely forgotten who you are. They go sign up with somebody else. And that rarely happens anyhow. So we don't want to be doing that. The next thing is having an overly sensitive ego. 8 or 9 out of 10 people you talk to are going to say no. And that's true in Starbucks and it's true on Facebook. It's that simple. The vast majority of people aren't interested, independent of what your upline told you when they signed you up, when they told you that everybody you know was going to sign up. It doesn't happen that way. And finally, having an unrealistic expectation of quick financial gain. Success takes time and it takes work. We've got to put the work back into work from home. And people that are on Facebook hanging up links, expecting a result, simply aren't getting it. No one is getting any results by doing that. They certainly aren't building a sustainable, long-term, duplicatable business, which is really what we want to do. So tonight we're going to explore the ramifications of the internet, and all the rules still apply. As I've said, and I'm going to go through this slide pretty quickly, we don't spam our links. We don't throw spaghetti against the wall and hope something sticks somewhere. And much of what you see on the internet results in little or no traction, poor retention, no duplication. That's a mouthful too. But look, just go into the work from home groups, work from home moms, work from home dads, work from home this, that, or the other. Just look in those groups. So let me ask you a question. What do you see? What you see is links hung up all over the place. Join my opportunity. Join here. Click here. Make money here. Now, if you have an opportunity and you go into those groups and you hang up your link, are you expecting to sign up with somebody else's opportunity because they hung up a link? Excuse me? Did I hear an answer? No. You're hanging up your link because you're hoping someone else is going to sign up with you, but everyone else who's in the group has hung up their link for the same reason. They're hoping you're going to sign up with them. But nobody's signing up with anybody. How does that work? It works in the end by generating a lot of people who are disappointed, who tell you that network marketing doesn't work because they tried it and they know it doesn't work. Well, duh. People do business with people. Our goal on the internet and social media is to meet new people and warm them up to us. And we're going to talk about how to do that. People do business with people. They don't join companies. They don't join biz ops. They join you. And once again, spamming links doesn't work. So how do we meet people? Well, the beauty of the internet is that we can meet people that we can never otherwise connect with, people from all over the world. We can conduct a meeting or a presentation with somebody halfway around the world. We don't have to go to a home meeting or to a hotel room or to Starbucks or to the mall. We can train our team no matter where they are. We can do webinars for our team. And perhaps most importantly, for those of us who like to travel, we can do our business from wherever we are in the world, from the beach, from a ski resort, from a vacation resort that we've dreamed of and we can now afford and have gone to. And that's the beauty of the internet. But social media is social. Don't abuse the internet and social media. You wouldn't walk into a crowded bar and start shouting about your opportunity with a megaphone. And you don't do that on Facebook or in other social media either. And that's the same thing as hanging up your links. You just don't do it. What do you do? Facebook is a cocktail party. People go to Facebook to socialize. They don't go to Facebook to buy. They go to eBay to buy. They go to Amazon to buy. They don't go to Facebook to buy. People don't walk into a cocktail party with their credit card in hand. They're not there to buy anything. They're there to socialize. And Facebook is exactly the same way. What would you do at a cocktail party? Well, you'd look around, you'd find somebody you're attracted to. You'd be very selective. I sincerely doubt that if you'd walk up to a stranger, somebody you don't know, and ask them to get in business with you. You'd connect one-on-one. You'd talk to them. Now let's address the issue of fear. A lot of people have the fear of approaching strangers, and that fear comes out in cocktail parties, it comes out in bars, it comes out in Starbucks, it comes out on Facebook. We have a fear of rejection. Everybody has it. Nobody's immune to it. I'm not immune to it, you're not immune to it. Sometimes when I'm getting ready to send somebody a message on Facebook, I sit there and I still feel the anxiety occasionally. I'm getting better and better at it. It's almost completely gone, but it's still a remnant that's there. I saw Frank Sinatra walk out onto a stage once, clearly nervous. It happens to the best. One way I believe personally to get rid of the fear is to not have an agenda. One of the reasons we have a fear is we are afraid of being rejected. Well, we're being rejected if we're expecting something that we don't get. If we don't have an expectation, there's nothing to reject. So how about just approaching somebody without an agenda and just to meet them and just say hi? You know? Let me very briefly review form prospecting. If you don't really know what to say to somebody, we have this little acronym form. Stands for family, occupation, recreation, money, or message. Form stands for friends or family. You can start a conversation with somebody by saying, hi, I'm Len. I like the dress you're wearing, or I like the tie you have on, or your profile picture is really pretty spiffy. So you can give them a compliment and then ask them about themselves. Ask them about what they do. Ask them about where they like to go. And save the money or the message for the very last thing that you talk to them about. Get a conversation going with them. Get to know them. Give them a chance to get to know you. And I'm not saying you should do all this in one conversation either. But let's move on. So again, casual cocktail party conversation. Hey, how are you? You look nice tonight. You live around here? Pay them a compliment. If you walked up to them at a cocktail party, you could compliment them on their tie or their dress or their shirt or something like that. Well, on Facebook, you can compliment them on their fan page or their personal profile or their profile picture or something you see about them. You can try to find something to connect with them about. I see on your fan page, it says you're an entrepreneur. What do you do? I see on your fan page, it says that you like Hawaii. Have you been there recently? You know, I see that it says you have a family. How many kids do you have? You know, get to know the person. Now let's talk a little bit about Facebook today and why is Facebook such an incredibly good place? 1.4 billion people, that's why. 1.4 billion monthly active users. 20% of the Earth's population is on Facebook. So if you can't find somebody to talk to, gee, that's a real problem. But I'm going to stop here and say that finding somebody to talk to also means genuinely being interested in other people. And it also means knowing who it is you're trying to talk to. I probably don't spend a lot of time chasing 16-year-olds on Facebook. We don't have anything in common. So it's pretty important to sit back and reflect on what is the kind of person that you would like to talk to. And we're going to explore that in a little more detail in just a moment. Let's talk about whether we're doing business on our fan page or our profile page. And I'm hoping that everyone knows the difference. Your personal profile is the page that you initially put up when you opened your Facebook account. The world is divided. There are some people that tell you that you don't really need a fan page and you can do business on your personal page, or you can use your personal page. But Facebook expressly states that Facebook should not be conducted on your personal profile or personal page. And Facebook is getting more and more strict on enforcing their regulations in the last several weeks and months. So I'm going to go on record as stating that if you're going to do business on Facebook, you really ought to have a fan page. And you're certainly going to want to have a fan page if you're going to do any advertising. And, you know, many people also prefer to keep their friends and family out of their business life. So having a fan page separate from your personal page really helps that. And then another big question is, how big do you want your business to grow? And while I can believe that most of us don't envision the day when we actually have 5,000 friends, many people do, and that is the limit on Facebook. And your fan page doesn't have that limit. You can have 1 million fans, but you can only have 5,000 friends on your personal page. So once again, why build a fundamental limit into your success right now? Let's start with a fan page. And if you don't have a fan page, I can help you put one up. It's not hard to do. The fan page has other advantages. One of the things that you need to realize about Facebook is that it is in business to make money. It is a publicly traded company. And people complain that they post on their personal profile and most of their friends don't respond to them. Well, most of their friends don't see their post. Facebook determines who gets to see your post on your personal profile. And typically between 5 and 10% of your friends will actually see a post that you put up. You don't have that limitation on your fan page, but it costs money. Yes, it's not free. One of the ways Facebook gets you is they say, if you want more of your people to see your post or your ad, then you have to create an ad and you have to run it to the likes, to the people that like your fan page. So one of the things you can do with your fan page is run likes campaigns to build your fan page and build an audience. So once again, I'm going to vote that you build your fan page. Now, if you're out there thinking about getting started on Facebook, don't let me discourage you if you don't have a fan page. Don't let it become an excuse for non-action. Get started anyhow. And just jump off the cliff and assemble the airplane on the way down if you like. But it doesn't take long to build a fan page and get it started. But don't let it be an excuse for non-action. So let's look at what should be on your pages. Your profile page, your personal profile page, and your fan page are really very, very similar. If you're in business, your profile page ought to have your name on it. It should be you, and or some variant of you. And it wants to have a nice picture of you, not your dog, cat, spouse, kid, grandchildren, etc. And I'm going to backpedal on this a little bit. If you're really determined to keep your personal life and your business life completely separate, then what I'm saying here doesn't apply. But it certainly applies on your fan page, and the next slide, we'll look at that. Your banner image, your nice big image, wants to reflect your values or your lifestyle, and you want to connect your fan page to your personal page in the Works At section so people can find your fan page. And your About section wants to be filled out. And if you have a website, it wants to direct people to your website. And it wants to tell people about you and make a connection with them and tell them how you can help them. People actually read that stuff. They actually read that stuff. And you want to be sure your contact information is there, your email, your website if you have one, your phone or Skype. And you say, well, I don't know if I want people calling me. Well, if you're in business, you want people calling you. Now let's talk about the fan page. And once again, I'm going to say this over again. If you're determined to keep your personal life and your business life completely separate, then you can ignore the comments on the personal page. But certainly the fan page wants to have your personal name, and it wants to have a nice image of you. Again, same comment, not your dog or cat or anything else. And the banner picture wants to be either a picture of you, wants to have your tagline, wants to have your website. You want to connect your website, assuming you have one, to your fan page. And your About section wants to have one or two compelling sentences that's going to appear in your ads. And it wants to have your website, or if you just have a replicated site for your company, then maybe your replicated site. And that's a topic that I could argue back and forth all day long, whether it should be there or shouldn't be there. But it's probably better to have a way for people to connect with you than to have nothing. And once again, your email, your website, your phone, or your Skype, not your home address. If you have a mailing address, then maybe that's fine. I have a mailing address that's not my home, but it's certainly you want people to be able to get in touch with you. And to just give you a picture, for those of you who haven't seen my fan page, this is just the banner of my fan page, but note, it's a picture of me. It doesn't have my dog or my cat or my grandkids. The picture of me in the airplanes, I like that. This is a picture up at the ski resort I go to. It may not necessarily be indicative of my business, but it's indicative of my lifestyle. It has a tagline, helping home business entrepreneurs soar. That's what I think I'm about. That's what I want to do. And it has a link to my website, lenmooney.com. And it has some other things. If you have a fan page, we're not going to go through this right now tonight, but there is a place here for you to put an introductory video. And if you go to my fan page, you'll see that this is a little short introductory video. It's who is Len Mooney and how can I help you? So it gives people an opportunity to know more about you and to learn about you a little bit. So we've done training on fan pages before, and in the Dig Deeper with Me that we're going to look at in a few minutes, part of the training there is an in-depth look at fan pages and how to create one. So, but you want to be sure to take advantage of all these things that Facebook makes available to you for you to connect with your customers or your fans. Okay, now let's talk about posting. You're going to post to your fan page. When? How often? 3 to 5 times a day, minimum. What are you going to post? You're going to mix it up. Valuable content, videos, great pictures, brainy quotes or other inspirational quotes, questions. Are peanuts good for you? It's one of the things that I posted some time ago. It got a lot of engagement. What you're looking for is people to engage with you. Now, I want to come back to the valuable content. Facebook is getting stricter and stricter on enforcing its regulations about the user experience. Facebook wants to protect the user experience. So if you are posting and boosting your posts, you want to be very careful. And this is a topic of a whole webinar all by itself, but the kinds of things that want to go on your fan page and get boosted or sent to customers or potential customers are content. More content than salesy stuff. Invites to webinars, invites to come look at your latest blog post, etc. But staying away from salesy stuff, at least staying pretty far away from it, and also really staying away from MLM, network marketing, and home-based business. Those terms Facebook doesn't like, and neither do a lot of other social media sites. So if you notice my postings on Facebook recently, I will talk about getting leads for your business. I do not talk about getting leads for your network marketing business. Those words aren't there. So be careful with Facebook. They are getting stricter. Follow up. The reason you're there is to meet people. How do you meet people? You follow. When people comment or like a post of yours, you message them. You follow up with them. You thank them for liking your post. You go to their page and comment on some of their stuff. And you leave meaningful comments like, hi, great post. That's not a meaningful comment, but I had one today. Somebody liked my Coffee with Len video. So I went to his Facebook page and I looked him up, and I had his name, of course, and I shot him a message. And my message started with, hey, I see you liked my video today. Thank you. I see, and I looked at his fan page and I saw a couple points about things that said something about him being at home and doing babysitting. So I asked him, it says you stay at home and you do babysitting. Are you a single parent? So I started a conversation with him, and that's the point. Now, so, I mean, that's the whole point of all of this stuff. So asking people to like your fan page, asking them what they do, asking them about themselves, getting to know them a little bit before you start popping the big question. And now the other thing we want to do with Facebook is get leads. Of course, we want to get leads. So once we've started a conversation with somebody, it's okay to say, hey, once you've determined that they are in a home-based business or that they're interested in network marketing or whatever you're doing, then it's okay to pop the, hey, I have a newsletter. I'd like to send you a copy. Give me your email address. Some will, some won't. Remember, a lot of people are going to say no. I have people turn me down all the time. They say, I already get too many newsletters. I don't want any more. Okay, fine. This is like the waitress in the restaurant asking if you want another cup of coffee. No, I've coffee out. I don't want any more. She doesn't put her tail between her legs and go to the office and sit down and cry because you turned her down and you rejected her. She just goes to the next table and asks them if they want a cup of coffee. That's what you got to do. And I'm more and more, I communicate with people all the time, and, not everybody's interested. That's just the way it is. And let's talk about groups. I go into scuba diving groups. I'll give you some examples in a minute, but once again, in the groups, you don't want to blast links. So I go into these big scuba diving group up in San Diego that I happen to be a member of, and I go into the group and I just look around for people and I ask them, where do you like to dive? I just open a conversation, I get to know them. And I'm very selective. We connect one-on-one and we talk to them. I don't hang up links in those groups. I'd probably be thrown out of the group if I hung up links. So one of the scripts that I use, hey, I spoke around to my friends of friends and I see you like scuba diving. We seem to have several friends in common. I love to dive. Do you have a favorite place to dive? I mean, it's a simple enough question. It's non-threatening. And most people will respond to it. And now I've opened a conversation with that person. And there's a couple other scripts on this page. Hey, I looked at your profile and I love that you. Okay, whatever it is. Give them a compliment. I saw a lot of energy in your profile picture. Really looks interesting. Okay, and after you've established a conversation, then maybe you want to go on with something like, hey, I'm a recruiter. Some of you folks know that I'm in World Ventures, so I'm a recruiter for a travel company out of Plano, Texas. We're expanding in the area, and if I could save you some money traveling and maybe help you make some extra money on the side to support that scuba diving addiction of yours, are you open to watching a short video? Some will, some won't. So what? Next. That's all I do, and I do it. And every now and then I find somebody who wants to watch the video. Similarly, MLM scripts. Hey, I love your cover picture, dynamic, full of inspiration. We have a bunch of mutual friends, including blah, blah, blah. I thought it'd be fun to connect. What do? Non-threatening. So we're not going for the juggler on the first go around, and maybe not even on the second or third go around. And some people go for the juggler earlier than I tend to. I tend to be a little bit more laid back. I can name people that go for the juggler right away. And if you want to know more about those people, I can tell you who they are. Anyhow, these are some of the things that I do. And the other thing that I do, and I've been doing less of this recently, but it was working. When possible, I follow someone for a while and see if they follow me back. Now, to be honest, I've been doing less of that. And the reason is that if I'm going to follow them, I might as well just friend them. So what I usually do is send them a message and just tell them, hey, I'm going to send a friend request. By the way, I generally don't send a friend request unless I've told them I'm going to send a friend request and ask them if it's okay. I get friend requests every day from people that I have no clue who they are. None, zero, zip. And they look, some of them look fraudulent, some of them look maybe okay to me. I don't know. Quite frankly, I delete many of them because I have no clue why this person is sending me a friend request or what they're interested in. And unless there's something to attract my attention, I just ignore it. And I think a lot of other people do the same thing. So again, don't send friend requests unless it's been solicited or you've gotten the person to agree, or at least you've opened a conversation with them. I will never send a friend request unless they have at least answered me back in a conversation. They've answered me at least at the first level, and then I say, hey, sounds like we have a lot in common. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to send you a friend request. And generally done that way, I don't have anybody say no. And then when I take the next step, hey, I've got a newsletter you might be interested in, a lot of times I get pushback on that one because, again, people are so overwhelmed with so much stuff these days, they don't want to sign up for it anymore. All righty, let's move right along. I do have a follow-up sheet. When I connect with somebody new, I write down their name and where I met them, and I have a few other little columns that I fill out, whether I sent them a friend request, whether I got them on my email list, whether I sent them a link, and whether I followed up. You may or may not want to do a follow-up sheet. I find it helps me to remember who I've talked to, but you know, that's not something that's essential. And if you want to do it, fine. It's just an Excel spreadsheet, pretty simple. I can send a copy to anybody who wants it. Okay, let's go on to Facebook advertising. First off, you've got to have a fan page. You can't do any advertising without a fan page. So once again, I'm back to you need a fan page. All ads are run from your fan page, even though your account is associated with your personal page. And the easiest way to connect is to connect Facebook to PayPal. PayPal is free. It's easy and free to set up. If you don't have a PayPal account, just go to paypal.com and set up a free account. Very easy, and PayPal is very easy to use. And I've never had an issue with PayPal, so I love them. And just again, reviewing some of the benefits of the fan page. If you're putting posts up on your personal page, the thing that Facebook calls EdgeRank keeps many of your friends from seeing your post. But on your fan page, you can boost a post to get it in front of more of your prospects or fans. Once again, be careful of the words MLM, get rich, make money, work from home. Facebook doesn't like those words, and it doesn't like the word Facebook or its logo. You got to be very careful if you're going to use the word Facebook or use the word logo. I did use the word Facebook in the ad that I ran for this webinar tonight, and Facebook accepted it. So, but you got to be careful. And anything that implies that Facebook has approved of your whatever will get you in trouble. And remember, the 20% text rule applies to all ads, even if you're doing a simple boost. If you have more than 20% text in the picture, it's not going to get approved. So that's a biggie that a lot of people overlook, and they don't understand why their ads aren't getting approved. Now, the structure of Facebook ads, there are three things. There's the thing called the campaign, there's ad sets, and there's ads. Campaign is the highest level. For example, I might want to create a campaign for one of the MLSP campaigns, such as Instant Biz Builder. And then I might want to create ad sets. For example, I'm going to create a set of ads that target people who like April Marie Tucker. And then I'm going to create the ads. I might have different ads with different images. So that's the structure, that's the hierarchy of Facebook ads. We always start with a campaign. And in many cases, the campaign and the ad set and the ad all have the same name because they're very simple. But Facebook does have a structure that enables pretty sophisticated advertising campaigns to be generated. So I can have a campaign for Instant Biz Builder, and I can have a bunch of ad sets that target April Marie Tucker and Robert Kiyosaki and Ray Higdon and different people. And then I can, inside those ad sets, I can have several different ads, each one with a different picture that's rotating through the ad. So there's, you know, I can make these things pretty complicated. And Facebook has created a structure that permits that. So a few more tips about Facebook advertising. Target, 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 target. We'll talk about targeting more in the next slide, and then test, test, test. And this is really an important thing. It's possible to spend a small fortune or a big one and not get much in return. So you got to be very careful. And personally, if you run an ad and you're just not getting return within, say, 24 hours or so, it's not converting, it's not working for you, stop it, change it. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the next slide. But that also implies that you know your audience. Who are you targeting? And your ads got to be congruent with your audience and what they like. Otherwise, you're just not going to get much response. One of the things, I don't have a slide on this, but one of the things, for those of you who may be taking a note or two, one of the biggies that I learned in this business is I let my definition of my avatar, or my ideal customer, I didn't do a very good job of really defining who I was targeting in the beginning when I started doing Facebook advertising. And the consequence of that is I ran a lot of ads to a lot of people who weren't interested in all of what I had to say. So just be careful. And of course, don't mislead, inflate, or display any lack of integrity. Don't talk about any get-rich-quick schemes in your ads or any mention of money. That'll get you thrown off Facebook so fast your head will swim. And again, Facebook is getting more and more strict on enforcing their rules. I liken Facebook advertising to ice fishing. You go out on this lake covered with ice and you drill a hole and stick your line in. And if you don't find any fish, you don't just stay there. You move on, drill a new hole, and stick your line in. So that way, you're trying different things and you're trying to find something that works. And the other way to do that is with split testing. Target different audiences with different ads if you can afford to. Now, the next question people always ask is, well, I don't know who to target. You know, if you're in MLM or network marketing or work at home or any of these things, here's a list of people that you could target. People that like Brian Finale, people that like Norbert Horowitz, people that like Steve Jaffe, people that like the Pescos, people that like Mark Harbert, people that da-da-da-da-da-da. There's a whole list of names. And you want to know from me, which one should I try first? And the answer is, we have to talk about what you're trying to accomplish. What does your avatar look like? Who is your ideal customer? Where are we likely to find your ideal customer? Is your ideal customer likely to be a fan of Bill and Michelle because they really love Facebook advertising? Or is he likely to be a fan of Mark Harbert because they really like video advertising? Who's your ideal customer? So it's hard for me to tell you which one is best to pick. But if you run ad sets, if you can afford to do it, you can run a different ad to 2 or 3 different groups and different ad sets and see which one is responding for you and then kill the ones that aren't. That's what you have to do with Facebook advertising. It does cost money to advertise on Facebook, and there are a lot of ways to not spend money. There are a lot of ways to do it free too. So we've talked about free in the first half hour. Now we're talking about paid. And remember, your ad only has one purpose. Can you guess what that is? To get a click. People make ads too complicated. They try to do too many things in one ad. You can't do that. You don't want to do that. All you want to do is get somebody to click on your ad. Take the next step, one step at a time. Okay. Let's talk about the types of ads. And we're going to wrap up this part of the presentation in just a few minutes. I promised between 40 and 45 minutes, and we're at 43 minutes right now. 3 major types of ads. Ads to a post, page likes, and website conversions. Ads to a post, boosting your post. So you put a post up on your fan page, and you want it to get in front of more of your fans. You simply boost it. And that's a very, very common way to run very simple advertising on Facebook. It's like being on your personal page and asking Facebook to put your post in front of more of your friends. Only it's over on your fan page and it's asking them to put it in front of more of your fans. And you can boost posts for as little as $5 a day. And for some people that may sound like a lot of money. And, you know, but you can also boost posts, try boosting a post for a day or two, and then if it's not doing any good for you, stop it. The other, and the kind of ad that you ought to be running as often as possible, assuming you can afford to do it, is page likes. And Facebook gives you a very simple click on here to get more people to like your page. And you can create an ad, and they will help you do that to get more people to like your page. And it's like getting more friends to your personal profile. The more people that like your page, then the more people that are going to see your ad when you boost it. And finally, website conversion ads, getting people to click on something that takes them over to your website. So those are the three major types of ads. Now, Facebook also has a couple of pixels, and I'm going to touch briefly on the pixels tonight, but they're covered in much more depth in the course that I'm going to talk to you about in a little bit. But there's conversion pixels and there's audience insights or audience tracking pixels. First off, you can build custom audiences from people that go to your website, and you can target people that have done specific actions, like target all the people that have visited just target all the people that have visited your website. That's one way to just get started. Or you can target all the people that have visited a specific page on your website. And this gets into some pretty advanced targeting. And based on what I know about the audience who's out there tonight, some of you know about it and some of you don't, but it can get into some pretty advanced stuff. You can place a Facebook pixel anywhere on your website. And what happens then is that if anyone visits your website, it turns that pixel on and sends a message back to Facebook, and Facebook keeps track of who visited your website. So you can create a custom audience, and then you can target that custom audience. If you have a website, you ought to have a Facebook custom audience tracking pixel on your website. Even if you don't do anything with it right now, it's building that audience for you. And so it's really a good thing to do. The other kind of pixel is a conversion tracking pixel. And it's simply a little piece of HTML code that goes onto your website. And once again, when someone visits a page where you've installed this pixel, it pings Facebook, and Facebook records their visit. And again, you're building an audience of people that have visited your website. Now, these two pixels sound awfully similar to each other. And I actually believe that Facebook has or is in the process of merging them together so that there is only one pixel at this time. And I may need to correct this slide. So let me go past this. So custom audiences. If you go to your ads manager, you'll find a pull down that says audiences. You'll find another pull down that says create an audience. Then it says create custom audience. And then you can give your custom audience a name, website traffic. And then you can drive traffic or drive ads specifically to that custom audience. Okay. I've got a couple other slides here I'm going to put up real briefly, and that's, again, terms for Facebook ads. If you're creating Facebook ads, they have a bunch of terms. If you go to create an ad and you have a picture there, these are the terms. The stuff below the picture is the headline. Then there's the picture itself, an image, and then there's a message above the picture. So the headline, the image, and the message. And I actually have a little cheat sheet that I put together for me when I create these ads. The model for an ad, the text above the picture itself, the headline below the picture, and then a description that's below the headline. And let me just flip through this. There's some ads, there's some policies in Facebook that you have to be aware of. Probably not a great need to go into this tonight, but there's some character limitations, and there is the 20% text limitation for the ads. And finally, and just here's an example. And this is a picture that I created for a Facebook ad. And what I'm going to tell you is that it's easy to create pictures like this, and you can do it in Canva. So I don't have a training on Canva tonight, but we have done Canva trainings in the past. And I'm just going to leave that as an example of a picture that you can create very easily. And if anyone wants to know how to do this, just ask me. So let me end that, and I'm going to ask you, I'm going to hope you've gotten value so far, and I'm going to take you through an opportunity to dig in deeper with me. Now, surely this is something that could be very interesting to your downline, and we talked about it in the chat. So what I've done is I've splintered the university course, and I've taken out of it the pieces of it that are just Facebook prospecting. So I call it the Ultimate Facebook Prospecting Course. It's got 4 modules that are jam full of relevant and helpful information, 2 bonus modules, and a quick start coaching session at a very affordable price. So let me show it to you. The first module is the Intro to Social Media, and it sounds a little bit about things we've covered tonight, but we go through this stuff in a lot more detail. And so we go through the mistakes and how to approach prospects on social media. And in all of these modules, we go live to Facebook and we do this stuff live. So the first module is the Intro to Social Media. The second one is using Facebook profitably. And again, we go live to Facebook. We actually go into groups, we do searches, and we look at some of the topics we talked about tonight, and we give real-world examples of how to do this stuff, how to find your prospects on Facebook, what to say to them, and when to say it. Then we go into advertising, and we actually, again, go to Facebook, and we do Facebook ads. We actually run ads and create them and go through the basics of how to do the simple Facebook ads. And then finally, the more advanced module, we go through the major types of ads. I go into much more detail on the conversion pixels and the tracking pixels and how to structure Facebook ads. And we go into Facebook and we give examples. Then there's 2 bonus modules. A bonus module on branding you, creating You Inc., why you need a personal brand and the essential elements of a personal brand, and why brand you and not your company or product, which is a mistake that a lot of newbies make. They put up a fan page and they put up the name of their company or product, and that's a big mistake. And so branding is very important to building a long-term business. We look at branding, and the final module is, the final bonus module is creating multiple income streams, why you need multiple streams of income, and how you can create them for yourselves. We look at affiliate marketing, we look at personal products, we look at continuity income, and we look at your primary business opportunity. So tonight only, fast start bonus. You can ignore this tonight only message. Here's the course. I've arbitrarily put values of $47 on each one of the modules. I don't know if that's a reasonable number. Maybe it's too high, maybe it's too low, but that's the number that I picked. I think it's, quite frankly, I think it's low. And what I'm going to do is I'm pricing the course at $97 normally, but for tonight, I'm pricing it at $47, 50% off. And that is the link to the course, lenmooney.com, FBP, Facebook Prospecting, lenmooney.com, FBP. So if anyone's interested, you can go out there and get more detailed information about the course. And I'm going to stop the screen share. And I'm going to end the broadcast. And I'm going to come back. Am I back?
You're back.
Still just the 3 of us? Still just the 3 of us? Well, I hope I didn't bore you to death, Chris. I know you've been through that before, or most of it.
No, you didn't bore me at all.
Really? Cool. Okay. Well, that's it. That's it. We're 5 minutes to the hour, and I promised you would get it done in an hour. I may have rushed a little bit. I'm not sure in the beginning, but I was feeling a little bit of like most of the people that are on here tonight already know most of this stuff, or at least some of it. So anyhow, I hope you got value. If there's no questions, we'll just call it a night. And I guess you know, Chris, that I lost power today. That's why I wasn't on lunch with Len, but apparently you pulled everybody over and did the thing anyhow, so that was wonderful. Thank you.
You know, Shirley came on briefly when she saw that nothing was going on. She left before I could hit her and bring her over. So Shirley, I really was going to bring you over.
Well, Did Larry come on and do anything about Florida?
Yeah, he talked about NASA, and he's, or not NASA.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Said Thursday he's going to go into the mastermind.
Cool. Okay. Well, we're right on track. All right. There's a comment up there. Let me look at the comment, and then we'll call it a night. All right. You're welcome, Shirley. I'm glad you got a lot of value. Thank you. And like I said, I will be in touch with you in the next day or so. I understand you're taking Chuck to the doctor tomorrow. We'll get in touch later this week and talk about what we can do to help your team. So that's it for tonight.
All right.
Chris, can I ask you a quick question? Do you think that Facebook, do you think that course has value?
Of course.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm really a little disappointed we had such a low turnout tonight, but it's just what it is.
I think we're going to have to run it again, and let's give the affiliates more than a day's notice.
Yeah, sure. Okay, my friend, we'll talk again. Bye for now.
Okay, bye, Shirley.
Bye, Shirley.